Welcome back. Another shooting by a federal agent yesterday to report, this time in Portland, Oregon. 2 people shot and wounded by a U.S. Border Patrol agent after allegedly trying to run him over. DHS says the driver is believed to be a member of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Massive protests have been breaking out in Minnesota and across the country after the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good. She's the woman in Minneapolis who was shot by an ICE agent, as the Trump administration is maintaining that the agent was acting in self-defense. Some Republican lawmakers are calling on President Trump to arrest Minnesota Governor Tim Walz now because he's threatening to deploy Minnesota troops against ICE. Joining me now is Virginia Congressman Ben Cline. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. This is going around and round in a wild circle, attacking ICE and then ICE firing back. Your reaction?
Well, anytime you have a loss of life, it's a tragedy. But what we have here is law enforcement engaged in enforcing the law. And what we need is for Americans to respect that action by law enforcement and to allow law enforcement to continue to do its job. And when we see these tragedies occur, to have the governor of Minnesota inflame tensions by talking about using National Guard troops to prevent ICE from doing their job, that's not only irresponsible and dangerous, that does cross a line.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, but you know, agents and officials are trained. When you're shooting, you're going to shoot to hit. You know, that's the training. And if they are feeling like they are in jeopardy or vulnerable, they're going to shoot back. But how are you going to stop this? What can you do as an elected official to stop this back and forth?
We have to continue to remind the people that protest is protected under your First Amendment right, but you are not allowed to interfere with law enforcement in the performance of its duties. When the Biden administration allowed more than 10 million illegal immigrants into this country and Donald Trump was elected president with a mandate to remove those people and secure the border. He is doing that. He is doing that in the most safe and secure way possible. But the American people, while they can express their opposition to ICE, they should not and must not interfere with ICE in the performance of its duty.
Yeah, of course. 17 House Republicans, meanwhile, voted with Democrats yesterday to extend Obamacare subsidies for 3 years. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said once again yesterday there's no appetite for the extension in the Senate. So the path really is unclear here. But what do you want to say about that, as well as the House passing a federal funding package yesterday of $180 billion, both parties overwhelmingly supporting the final package of 3 bills, even after GOP pushback earlier in the week over the Minnesota fraud concerns, Congressman?
You know, it's a busy week in Washington. We have an agenda, America First agenda we are trying to enact and put in place. But right now we are trying to undo years of malpractice by Democrat administrations like the Biden administration, like the Obama administration. Obamacare is broken. It is a broken system. We can't double down with subsidies, extended subsidies that just paper over costs and take taxpayer dollars and send them directly to insurance company CEO pockets. That's not what we should be doing. We should be putting this money in the hands of taxpayers, giving them more options to choose the health insurance plan that's right for them. And then moving on to the spending bill, you know, we need to undo all of the Pelosi-Biden language, the Green New Deal language, all of these regulations that were put in place by the last administration and the last Congress. These spending bills do that. They spend less than a continuing resolution would under a shutdown scenario or under a shutdown scenario. So these bills were important, and moving moving beyond the Pelosi administration is something I think all of us can support.
And do you feel confident
Pelosi speakership.
Yeah, and do you feel confident that you're at a point now that there's not going to be a shutdown because you've got progress and momentum moving on these bills?
I do think we have progress. I think, bills aren't perfect, but we continue to work with all different factions to make sure that these bills are the best that they can be. And remember that you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, and we have to move forward beyond these Biden-Pelosi era spending bills.
Yeah, understood. Well, the Senate advanced a bipartisan resolution yesterday to block the president from using further military force within or against Venezuela until he gets prior approval from Congress. 5 Republicans joined all 47 Democrats on that vote, including Kentucky's Rand Paul, Maine's Susan Collins, Missouri Josh Hawley, Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, and Indiana's Todd Young. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke after the vote. Watch this.
Look, people don't want endless war. And when, even before we know what they're doing in Venezuela and what they want to do in Venezuela, they can even accomplish, and we don't even know how they're going to accomplish. They start talking about Colombia. They start talking about Mexico. They start talking about Greenland. The American people are saying, what the hell is going on here? And what's gotten into the president's head?
Congressman, what's your reaction?
What's gotten into the president's head is he's looking out for the American people. He's protecting the American people from drug cartels, from drugs that are coming in, killing American citizens, destroying American families. And by delivering this warrant and administering this warrant, and he needed special forces to go in to be able to arrest Maduro and deliver him to justice in New York City. This has precedent with Ortega. This has precedent with past presidents. Obama, Biden have used American forces for narrow strikes when necessary. This is not about war with Venezuela. We're not declaring war. And as the president said, he's not sending in more troops into Venezuela because the delivery of that warrant and the administration of justice to bring Maduro back has been accomplished. So mission accomplished. What we can do is say that Maduro is going to see justice and move forward with how we can work with Venezuela and the new leader of Venezuela there. She's going to be coming to the White House, and hopefully there can be a better relationship that will ensure that the Venezuela people...
Sense of your expectations there?
Well, I think that's a step down the road right now. We need to be focused on Maduro. We need to be focused on the crimes that he committed and the administration of justice there. There will be time, and the president is acting swiftly to bring oil companies in to talk about rebuilding the infrastructure. I think that the benefits need to be with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we rebuild the lives that were destroyed by the past dictatorships. But we also need to make sure that as far as global energy goes, that prices stabilize, and that we continue to focus on an American first energy policy that focuses on American energy production and independence for American producers and lower costs for American citizens.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Ben Klein, thank you, sir.
Day 57 update. These compression socks have surprised me. I am wearing hollow compression
Venezuela. Yeah. Now, it's interesting. You mentioned all of the criminals and the people let out of prisons that were sent to our borders in our country. That's Tren de Aragua. That's cartel members.
Some of the worst criminals in the world were let into our country.
Known terror ties.
Biden's open border policy. Anybody could come in.
And that will get into the issue of Minneapolis going on right now. But back to this one issue, do you foresee a Venezuela that will have free and fair elections? And I would have little doubt that the opposition would probably win handily if they were free and if they were fair.
Yeah, I do see that. I think that's happening. But before we do that, it's going to take a while to do. We have to rebuild the country. They couldn't have an election. They wouldn't even know how to have an election right now. The country's become third world, and they wouldn't know how to have an election right now. We're going to rebuild the oil and the oil infrastructure. We'll be in charge of it. It's going to do great and make a lot of money. And we're going to take it from there, but we're going to rebuild the country, and ultimately you're going to have elections.
When you talk about increasing defense spending, and I go back to the campaign, and I go back to your first term, foreign policy usually doesn't get a lot of discussion. And in many ways, you have dedicated a lot of time, energy, and resources.
Very important for our country.
How is that in America's first interest? Because that's what you stand for.
Well, like the Middle East was blowing up when I got in. It was everybody was fighting everybody, which, in all fairness, has been going on for about 3,000 years in the Middle East. And we now have peace in the Middle East. Nobody thought that was possible. But you have some great countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and many other countries that have been around a long time. They're very wealthy. They were, in many ways, put out of business. They weren't able to do business. Tremendous wealth for the world. The oil supply was hurt. Everything was hurt. I mean, you had things happening in the Middle East that were bad, not only in Gaza with the death and the destruction going on for years. And it's been cleaned up. It's amazing. It's been cleaned up. Now, there'll be some remnants right now. We're going to have to see what happens with Hamas. We're going to have to see what happens with Hezbollah and Lebanon. But we have 59 countries that signed on, and they want to go in and help if we should have to do something with Hamas, which is a possibility. I think they're going to do what they said they were going to do. They were going to disarm, but they've been armed for a long time.
They've been a little slow to disarm.
Yeah, they've been a little bit slow.
Will you support Israel? Will you put them on a timetable?
Well, I would, but first we'll see whether or not they're going to be disarming. Look, I'm all for it if they don't. They made the promise that they would.
If they don't.
They've made an agreement that they're going to disarm, so we're going to have to assume that they're going to, but, it's not their nature to disarm. It's not exactly their nature. Hezbollah's been very bad in Lebanon. But overall, I mean, we have an amazing situation compared to what it was, and we really do have peace in the Middle East. And I will say Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and other countries have been amazing. They've been, so helpful in getting it done. But the biggest thing was the attack on Iran. If you had a strong Iran, a respected Iran, a powerful Iran, like I guess it was at one point, a year ago, year and a half ago, you wouldn't have been able to make peace because the other countries wouldn't have been able to have that dark cloud hanging over them. And they
Describe what you want and watch it take shape.
President Trump's first year back in office has been a big impact on the education department. The department cutting 39% of its staff, losing roughly 2,000 employees between January and November of 2025, according to new data this morning from the Office of Personnel Management. Joining me now is the Secretary of U.S. Education, Linda McMahon. Secretary, great to see you this morning. Welcome back.
Thank you, Maria. It's good to be back with you.
And all those cuts were by design. Is that right?
They were. You know, it's in keeping with returning education to the states. It's, paring down the department, and we started doing that from day one of the new year when we came into office, and we're proceeding accordingly.
So where are we now? What do you want to say about the status of the Department of Education? I think this was one of the first departments that President Trump said needs to either go away
hear from it. Where's Tesla? Nvidia. Nvidia is back to green. Google. So this time, I mean, it does look everything except Apple. Apple and Microsoft. And Amazonian. Bloom Energy. Vistra chilling out. If you notice that, and then you're going to be in real time. But I don't know. I don't know if locked in might be the best for new traders. But if you want info in real time, definitely. So we'll talk about it here in a little bit.
What's up?
You know, we've been having, because I've been telling people, man, if you really want to develop your trading, and especially with some of the stuff we learned last year, it's kind of counterintuitive, but you're long term. And how you have that, but at the very least, I'm always down for another talk on budget and discipline, because that is really the key. Yeah, bro. NVO is up 5.5, above 60 now. It's crazy. It's like almost 50% from that bottom. So what? You're going back into like middle of the year last year? Ozempic pills, dog. Reddit, I don't know, man. Are they gonna clap Reddit? Did you see these protests? They're kind of wild. And I do think people are saying they were organized on Reddit, but till then, I mean, homegrown terrorism is profitable. Yeah, Sweet Green. I mean, people were pumping the whole healthy food thing.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation. And watch it.
Well, enjoy it, bro. No more snow. You will get humidity. But that's dope, bro. Congratulations. Yeah, SanDisk up 7 after yesterday's little fiasco. Again, Micron as well. It was like Micron, Dell, TSM. TSM didn't they have a quarterly update today? Or like a sales update? AMR, isn't that a home one? No, Alpha Metallurgical Resources. And then Intel. Yeah, I forgot. We already hit 44, but Intel was great. Rocket Lab's starting to go up. I think Lunar got a downgrade. Rocket Lab's up 3. ASTS is up 4. So, yeah, Lunar's down 6 because of the downgrade, but I think they're all starting to go. The lagger ones aren't moving as much, but the ones that were already running there. Getty, kind of chilling there. And then who's the other one? Oklo and VST. So, again, those with the gap up, they honestly haven't done much. It's only been 15 minutes, but still. Yeah, the drone stocks all running. Again, even defense. I don't know, RTX really going up there. Again, even all the space stocks except the laggers. It'd be crazy for gold. Yeah, once we're done with that rebalancing, I mean, most people are still saying for the whole year. They are expecting a similar year, which I think is surprising because I think gold and silver, it's been several years now, it feels like, of this kind of nuttiness. But, you know, don't forget, I was talking about it yesterday, but the dollar debasement. Do you guys remember that last year? End of last year, everybody, dollar debasement, dollar debate. It's like people shut up about it. But no, that's still in play. It's still kind of one of the major themes here coming into this year. So we're starting to get moved on there, but I do think it's there. Mexico's Shine Ball will strengthen communication with U.S. after Trump's comments. I asked our foreign ministers to get in touch with Rubio and, if necessary, to speak with Trump. ASTS is a space stock, right? I just think space stock has a potential to kind of be the front runner of one of the bubbles this year. But other than that, I think they're all dog shit. But then again, like I said, me thinking things are dog shit and hating it, that is also an indicator in and of itself. So good luck, but I don't view it as anything serious, but there could be a short-term opportunity depending on how much crack people do. So we'll see. How do you restart your long-term? Would you wait for the crash? No, I would never wait for a crash. That's ask a lot of people, man. That's just, I know a lot of people in my life that have been waiting for a crash since 2015. They even got it in 2020, if you think about it, relative to the S&P price. But yeah, you go right away. So I don't know if you were here. We built the long term, and then we turned it into a crib, but we rebuilt right away. And thankfully we did. You know why? Because the first play to rebuild was Intel. I don't know if you guys remember that. I have a couple of silver options, but I sold most of them. But I'm like $5 in the fucking money on them. I have like 60s or 65s from before I left for break. But yeah, they expire next week. So it's all free, essentially, if you don't understand. So I'm not too involved in it. I wanted a bigger squeeze, but then again, you got one of the biggest in the world, so I don't know why. And, I should be happy. And I am, but still, you know what I'm saying?
So what you thinking? Did you take any profits yet?
It's like it's necessary. So either way, man, welcome. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to start building out your bunker and training center. I'll grow the plants. But yeah, we do have a farm. Intel was the news. Is Trump made a comment on him yesterday. He just said he had a good meeting with. He was very vague. He said just good meeting with Liputan. Best asset is going to be your DDR RAM. Yeah, I mean physical stuff, but that RAM pricing thing is actually insane. Like I said, some people, man, you would have you could have outperformed the market by buying RAM. PO 1590 has doubled price already. It's insane. Leputan, great guy, great guy. If you're shocked you're not paying attention. No, I've paid a lot of attention, man. I've even told a lot of people nobody cares. I don't know. It's a very
Alziamo le mani.
Man, that was a good one. Looks like we're just up and down, up and down, up and down. If I hit 200 for today, I'll be happy. My goal was 3 a day. What you eating on? Oh, never mind.
Big leader at one point, but remember this one wasn't cheap. Even when we bought it, it was cheaper relatively, but it wasn't like you got cheap value. Good or bad for the buy? I think it would have been I think a little bit worse, slightly. Because ironically enough, if it came out today, I think it would have been good, even if this wasn't favorable. So that's what we talked about this morning. So that's what I was saying. I gave you guys the document in the AM, the fresh noise. It's just so damn fucking chill right now. It has been that I think fresh noise and depending on what exactly they did, it would have gave you a lot more info to chew on that probably would have been slightly better, as ironic as that sounds, even if they rejected it. So I would say slightly bad, but not bad enough to make a play. LFP, uh, the vents, Pew Pew, good to be back, baby. I can't believe it though, bro. First day, 2 days, I start getting like a little sick. I don't know, but everyone keeps talking about it. They're like a mystery virus. That's like a cold. You guys remember we used to get colds? But then again, we did go through a pandemic. I think that fucked up everybody. But
Sure.
yeah, other than that, listen, it's called connecting and it's insane. I don't do schedules or timesheets manually anymore. And it works. It's called old BTU. But yeah, so now Lunar is the only space dock not moving, just because they got a downgrade this morning. But it's trying to pick up. But yeah, remember ASTS, Rocket Lab, they're on fire. And again, that was the first idea I shared with y'all when I came back, man. So they've started off pretty nice. Welcome to 2026. Oh, PL, is it PL one of them? Planet Labs? Yeah, that's another two. Yeah, they only have a couple of international Chipotle. They have one in Kuwait, Dubai, and I think that's it. I think that's a metric. But that's why it's like if Chipotle goes international, that's a whole segment. They've grown and done well as a company, and that's all domestically.
What up?
Geographic revenue. Yeah.
What up?
Oh, they got one in Germany too, and United
Trying to
Kingdom.
stay
It's
alive.
all small.
Uh-huh. Right back up. God. If I'd have just not went in so much and held on. I'm trying to get it back. I can lose 1,500. So no. Yeah, the whole thing. So I'm gonna try the $20 back. I've done it before. I ain't out. So shit. I just made a little 27 right there. Back down to, I was 1,000 down and hit the wrong fucking button. I was like, I was going long. And next thing you know, I'm short because I sold too many of some shit. So damn. It's coming right back up to that line. It always hits and drops back. Let's see. What was that called? It's Google something. Heard a doorbell.
Did you hear that? That kicks off when I have like a large 100 orders come through in one slot, and they make me get set.
Good God.
Yeah, that was 100 mini contracts at one time. I've seen 1,000. How much money that is?
It's crazy.
One entry. Yeah, one entry.
Sure.
It doesn't always dictate whether it's going to be a push up or not. I mean, just the entry that could be exhaustion. Calling me back.
Yeah, I'm on the different one now. I'm on the computer. You're on the computer now. Can you hear me? Hello? There? Can you hear me? You there?
Here.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
You hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's when you call me, it's only coming through my phone. I can't answer on my computer. And when I call you through my computer, it's going to your phone.
Yeah. What?
I was calling your email. Let me dial your phone. That's what I did the first time.
All right.
Wait back.
Make
How's
it.
that?
Yep.
I got to dial your number through the computer in order to get. That's weird. I figured your email would go to your computer.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing. That's weird. I'm 5 in for a little long scalp, trying to get it back.
That's tough button up here at the top.
Yeah. Ooh, that's like a $60 one if it hits. Yep, I got it. Down to 1062 negative. I guess I ain't totally out. Uh-oh.
That's another 100 banger. I don't know why you can hear that. I guess because it's weird.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody ringing your doorbell.
One more to
Damn, I was doing good too.
So he wasn't. Right.
That's the way it always is. At least I ain't got to start back over for 5 more days. That's what sucks.
It's weird. I can tell what I'm sharing. Yeah.
If I could hit a perfect one, 30 in, I could make that 1,000 back easy.
Her. Missed that shit.
All the way from the bottom too. Could you imagine?
It went right to the bottom of that pre-market money. And I see that shit happen day after day. And I don't always react on it.
So it comes back down to where the pre-market low was?
Well, pre-market value area low, which was technically the low. The low was 54.25 of pre-market. So it came down to 55.75, which was the bottom of that 68% of the volume of the pre-market. And then reversed like a motherfucker. Perfectly on the 5-minute too. As soon as the 5-minute changed from the next 5-minute.
Damn.
What was that? Yeah, 10:10 to 10:15. 10:15 is it. That 5-minute candle came back, what? 3 ticks, and then said, boom.
Well, I've been here before, just yesterday. But I was still 30 in, waiting on it to come back. So I guess I'm still looking better than I was then.
So this could be a short here at this level. This was resistance a few days ago. Then it became support day 4 yesterday. And now it could be resistance again.
Huh.
If I get that 12 range candle that I like, that's a reversal. I'm going to short it.
I got 450 I can lose, so I'm not too bad off. Where I could go in 3 or 4.
I'm going for it. Short.
Uh-oh.
When I get in, 93.75.
93.75. I got you.
Give my 7.5 points. Do it. That's like not even 3 range candles. It's coming back.
I went 5 in. See what happens.
One in. I might add another here and then I'm out. I thought it was going to be.
How much do you usually lose when you go out?
Like $35.
Damn.
Usually less than that. Shit.
Come on down.
Drop out.
45 seconds into the candle. It'd be nice to hit this one and get under 1,000.
I'm gonna drop.
Pull back. Pull back. You can do it. You can do it.
Don't you want to go home, Candle?
Go to your home. Oh, shit. I answered.
the banger added to as it went up.
Oh yeah.
It went above my stop, and I kept holding. I was like, and then I got that candle. It's a big pullback, and I was like, all right. I added to it, so I got 2, and I got 7.5 points off of that.
But you would have got stopped out if you hadn't stopped that. Or would
No,
you?
it's still because I set my stop for 30 ticks and my profit at 30 ticks, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right.
But I'll gauge it if I'll get out if I don't like the way it looks.
Right. You get
So I
that
just held it.
feeling.
Then when I got that next, as soon as it went right above my little area at 98.25, it went a few ticks above that and then pulled back, gave me that nice red, delta change,
Right.
12 range candle, and I added another one, and then boom,
Damn.
I got what I get $85 off that.
Shit, that's
2
good.
micros.
I don't know what I hit, but I'm down to 990 negative. And I
Right.
was, what, 1200?
Yeah.
So I can get 990 easy if I just hit one right.
Yeah.
Go in 3 or 4. So I don't know.
So I almost made up my loss from yesterday. I lost 160 yesterday. So
Dang.
I'm gonna switch. Look, it's gonna fall some more. Look at that shit. It's probably gonna go back down to the top of the pre-market value area, which is 6975.50.
697550.
Yeah, that's the top of the pre-market value area.
Oh yeah, that's right where that line is for that SMA.
Yep, that's where the 5-minute 55 EMA is.
And you think that's where it's gonna do a little bounce?
Yeah, I would look and see, look at price action there, see if I get one of those 12 range reversal candles I like.
Why couldn't Trump tweet whenever we 5 in and it go our way? One of them real big ones, you know? It's like, holy shit, I'm up 7,000.
Shit, I hit my profit target for.
I remember one day.
I've had that happen like in seconds. Like as soon as I enter, and it just something happens.
Yeah, it's like it knows you pushed the button.
And it hit my profit target before I even let off the button. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that's the good ones. I have it set for like 8 ticks on the NASDAQ. And just
I've had it hit 7.5, 30 ticks like that within 2 seconds. As soon as I enter, and I'm just like, okay, and then all of a sudden it's like, ding dong, I get that ping, it's like,
it does that shit to me, but it goes against me every time.
It's done that to me too.
One time I was in Charlotte walking around, and I think it was a 50,000 test. So I made over my 1,500 that you can make, half the consistency. And I was like, damn, I got to lose $100 because I made so much when it bounced up real fast. So I put in like 10 minis, and it started going for me instead of against me, even though it was going against what I was wanting it to do. And I threw more in. By the time we got to the little bar we was walking to in Charlotte, I was like $8,000 up. I'm like, what the fuck? How am I going to lose all this? Well, no, that was just a test. But I was like, oh shit. But I think I ended up somehow losing it all back down to where I needed to be. We're right there almost at that, a little bit more.
Right.
Well, I guess it came down.
Yeah, sometimes it would be called front running it. Well, that's right at the VWAP. I think 6978 is VWAP today. So this could be a VWAP reversal here.
So does it VWAP or VWAP?
Well, it's it's volume weighted average price.
I've heard a lot of people say VWAP, and then other people say VWAP, and I'm like,
well, VWAP would be the volume weighted average prices. Up would be whatever. I'm just spelling. I don't know.
Well, WAP. That was a WAP, right?
It was
derogatory name for Italians back in the 20s.
Good Lord. I can't believe I'm down 990. I guess this is what I do. That's funny yesterday. He was like, get out. This is what you do. This is what you fucking do. We'll both be rich by now, but this is what you do.
Hey, hang on, my wife just did show me.
All right.
Yo.
What up?
She was
Standing right over my shoulder. Scared the shit out.
Are we talking about VWAP?
Yeah. I started talking about trading and she just glazed over.
Right.
Okay, never mind. But I gotta listen back to it and work every day.
It's like, this dumb motherfucker went in 15 wrong way and kept adding.
Might bounce. Might do a little bounce here. All right, I gotta get some work done. I'm gonna call some people.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
think it's going to hit 7,000. I got that little runner up there. Trying to clinch back my loss this morning.
But he expressed so much interest in Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, as well. Great reporting as always, Bill. Good to see you. Thank you. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, Republican of the great state of Oklahoma, member of the Armed Services and Appropriations Committees, joins me now. You know, when we look at how far we are into this situation, I've had people come up to me in public and say, why don't you just arrest the governor for what he's done? I mean, I know that's not what you do on Capitol Hill, but I would imagine your constituents may be wondering it too.
Well, there has to be an indictment process. Maybe there's a grand jury that's looking at this. Maybe that could happen. We got to be very careful, and I don't mean to play politics, but this is all about politics. Even why, and a good reason why this fraud was overlooked. But if
What do you think it's going to do? Keep going or bounce back down off of that?
If you just go out there and you don't have a case built up, you don't have an indictment on Governor Walz, and you just arrest him, then it looks like it's politically motivated. One thing we don't do in the Republican Party, and I mean that Republican Party, is we don't lock up our political foes. The Democrat Party may go down that road, but that's why they weaponized the DOJ and weaponized the FBI. The Republican Party underneath President Trump is trying to restore law and order again, and that's our main focus. So anything we do, we want to be within the boundaries of the law that gives us the ability to do so.
Well, and it gives you the ability to win that case. And Senator, I really appreciate you saying that, because this was so egregious and it hurts so many people in terms of taxpayers in the state of Minnesota, that the accountability, people want more than just knowing that there are a couple of hearings on Capitol Hill. So how do you get at this next, and how widespread do you think it was, not just in Minnesota, but what else should be looked at?
Well, I think they're already looking at California. They're looking at a lot of these blue states where there was federal matching funds, because this wasn't just Minnesota taxpayer dollars. This was everybody's taxpayer dollars because of the amount of taxpayer matching funds that went into it. So we've got to look at all the programs. And by the way, not just blue states, we need to look at red states too. If Oklahoma wasn't accountable for every penny that the federal government sent them, the taxpayers inside Oklahoma sent them, then they should be held accountable. I think we're good. Oklahoma operates as a very functional, well-ran state, but we need to not take one thing for granted. The thing is that I don't think Elon Musk, who said this, that there could be 20% of our budget going to fraud, waste, and abuse. I believe that number could be very accurate. Thank goodness we have a business guy in Washington, D.C. that is President Trump that is taking a hard approach to this and saying, we don't have to do things the way we've always done it. We're going to do things better. And I think this is a big focus of eliminating fraud, waste, and abuse of Trump's administration.
Whose job is it, Senator, to claw back that money if you can even find it?
Well, it's going to be the states partnershiping with the federal government, and most of it probably won't be recoverable. I mean, when you're talking about billions of dollars, not just billions of dollars, these individuals that are responsible for it, they need to be brought to justice, and then I believe they need to be deported at the same time if that is within the cards, if they're not citizens of the United States. At the same time, those dollars need to be recovered in assets. Most of those assets that we saw was sent back to Somalia, and even a lot of them was sent back to a terrorist organization, Al-Shabaab.
Senator, thank you so very much for being with me today. I appreciate your time.
Harris, thanks for having me on.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee Metz